The following content is an update and technical analysis on Palantir Technologies, a company of the technology sector and software infrastructure here off the hourly interval. And while I had initially inclined towards a favorable occurrence of a robust snapback, impressive counter-trend rally, our expectations materialized pretty accordingly here, where the upward surge that ensued subsequent to the verified breakdown sell signal observed within the hourly interval realm here. And now within the present moment, we have firmly established and authenticated pronounced bearish tendencies coupled with conspicuous near-term exaggerated bearish and negative divergences that lean heavily towards the negative spectrum. Whereas you have RSI and all three technical momentum indicators, the moving average, convergence, and oscillator near-term, again, exaggerated bearish divergences with red candle closes below the zero line thresholds there. As bullish as that felt, these negative and bearish divergences have only grown larger than that existing period there, whereas you have a big volume price indication around this range. And I've added this new primary reactionary low uptrend line off the June 8th lows there. And a nice solid break below. I've added this 1601, really needs to be watched amongst all traders there. And if we take that out, I believe we put in a secondary sell signal on a solid hourly candle close below, which will coincidingly take out the 50 hourly moving average there. And like I like to say, the larger the divergences, usually the bigger the drop there. By no means am I trying to ruffle anyone's feathers, as I am also a long-term investor in Palantir Technologies. I truly believe in them in the long term. I do equip them in the long-term portfolio. I believe that a stellar management team runs a company within Alex Karp and the rest of the Peter Thiel group. And again, just I am simply here to point out necessary pivot points, key inflection points, key pivot moments, where I'm also just naked shorting the trade and short selling for increased positions, increased shares, really for the long term to roll over into. So again, just and once again, ever since I released that previous video, the momentum has theoretically waned, versus you had these huge upsurges when we called that 50% rally off the breakout of that primary reactionary concealed downtrend line there. It was an amazing move. But as of now, you can tell the momentum is waning amongst technical momentum indicators and within the rhythmic sense of the price action within this space here in the near term. So we'll see what happens. Again, bull traders, dip buyers, they want to defend this 1601 price, call it gap support there, really at all cost. Hold this, even if we snap that minor, I call it a minor uptrend line. If we snap it, they want to defend this level at all costs, and they want to break out, complete breakout above that 50% fibs retracement, call it the 1725 price resistance, and start to really burn out and burn off these negative and bearish divergences. Any marginal new high will only put in larger negative and bearish divergences, but a very powerful rally, and you start to rip out and burn out these negative bearish divergences, then that would be exceedingly bullish, where it was a false breakdown turning into a massive, not only a panic of short covering where bears are panicked back into their bear caves. You'll have again, at the same time, bullish and or long traders really squeeze them out. And I believe it would be a very powerful move to the upside. And again, just for the risk reward ratio sense, this is where it makes sense for a move to the downside, where you have that first target, the 382 fibs retracement for 10% crash, down to 1385 for a 15.4% crash. And I've also added this new key primary downtrend line that I hadn't seen before, that I've added for a 21% crash, where I'll more than likely cover my position, potentially cover a partial position down to that 1385 price support if we even get there. But again, bull traders, long traders, they could take this to the upside and burn off these divergences, and wow, would it be an absolute roar, screaming rally to the upside if and when that happens. But again, we snap that 1601 price support there. We will also begin to damage confliction and damage the zero line thresholds of these hourly interval realms of the technical minimum indicators and I believe a pretty strong big move to the downside if it happens. Again, just vast majority of the traders and the masses have bought within this realm here, and it would be a pretty quick, sizable move, I believe, to the downside. I want to get out to this key inflection point here, because I think it has a pretty great significance. I'll zoom out here on the daily interval, and here it is. I think it's very validated right off the IPO all-time highs around that inflection point of the January 2021 reactionary highs. Again, multiple reactionary highs to help strengthen that validation, and talk about a level of support that would be right there. Nice buying zone, which will correlate with the 50 exponential moving average. Call it a dual or triple line of support there with a 1247 price support. And what I love to stock up and have a nice dollar cost average event right there for that move to the downside for the long-term portfolio for an increased move to the upside in the next leg up. And again, that would be favorable for long-term investors, dollar cost average. And we'll see what happens. Again, if we never break down that 1601 price resistance, we burn off this inflection point and have a nice clean daily candle close below, I will be stopped out of my short trade position. And, you'll probably favor a move. I've added these new key levels up to the 2038 price support. I've added 2317 and 2882. And those are key inflection points to watch out for. And I believe getting right back into this trading range, blasting right above that 2038 price resistance could favor a very powerful potential move right back up to the top of that trading range, 2882, challenging that last line of resistance and what I would believe, if taken out and broken out of, would ensue for a big challenging two new all-time highs if and when we get there. So again, it's been a heck of a time watching and trading this stock, and just unbelievable moves, unbelievable fundamental catalyst. I believe with the huge amount of potential possibilities that this company can ensue in either direction, whether it's to the upside or downside. All investments as well need to be respected in the risk reward arena as far as how much you're willing to lose investing in a company for the risk reward to the upside. Whereas I'm willing to risk, example by example, I'm willing to invest $10,000, risk it all going to zero, and Alex Karp burns the entire company down to the ground for the potential reward of them turning into a $700-800 billion market cap company to the upside, and making a vast amount of money to the upside, and potentially 5x, 8x, or 10x in your money.